Audacity. If it doesn't work, it's free.
Alright, SqwadCast, episode 30?
Is it?
30? I think. Maybe? I don't know. 30.
It's okay. I'm going to trust you. I'm not going to give you too much of that.
We have a newcomer this episode. I was about to say this week, but it's like every 5 weeks we do an episode. So. We have Antonio. Long time listener, first time
Caller?
First time appearance, yeah. Glad to be here.
And Ryan.
I'm always here. Never
Yes.
funny.
And me. This week-ish episode, we are talking about the if it doesn't scan, it's free of other jobs, which we'll get into, do a brief explanation if you don't quite get it, but we'll do it. That's what we're going to talk about. But first, our airing of the grievances, which would be, this is the third episode we've been doing yet, maybe fourth?
I want to say fourth, maybe fifth.
Oh, maybe fifth. Oh, man. All right. Well, my grievance to start is when people, this is kind of a specific one, but when people travel and they hype it up for a while, like they plan a vacation like 6 months in advance, and then all their Snapchats and tweets and stuff are, can't wait to go to this place, can't wait to go to that place. I'm like, take pictures while you're there. That's fine. Show it off. You got to go somewhere, but don't hype it up. Every other Snapchat is a countdown.
Like, ooh, 123 days.
Yes.
123 days till Myrtle Beach.
Like, that's like 4 months. Like, you still have a long time to get there. Like, you have so many things to do before that.
Yeah.
Like, we don't care that your vacation's 4 months away.
No. A former work colleague from me and Ryan's previous place of employment has been posting on her Snapchat. She's going to Ireland, and I think every day since she's booked the trip, she's had a countdown. And I'm just like, okay, we get it. Like, you're going to Ireland. Like, you don't have to.
I'm really curious to find out who this is. I have a good guess.
You probably know. It's a person we have a lot of grievances towards. And has a Monsters, Inc. nickname.
Oh my god. Right. The worst part is I've actually had that conversation with her, like in person. I've talked.
Her nickname?
No.
Oh, I was gonna
God,
say.
no. No. She told me she was going to Ireland like 2.5 months ago.
Yeah.
And I've seen her twice since then, and she's told me still waiting for Ireland.
Okay.
Now, do you give people who are going on honeymoons a pass for this, since it's like the one time, or do you lump them in with these?
Well, a honeymoon is
like,
okay. Like,
we're on honeymoon in 2 months. Like, you lump them in here too, or do they get a pass?
I feel like that falls into wedding hype.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think wedding hype is acceptable as long as it's not like every day or like 79 days till wedding, 78 days till wedding, 77 and a half days till wedding.
Yeah, I think because actually, quite a lot of my high school friends are getting married now, which is weird.
I feel that.
Yeah, and a lot of them are posting like honeymoon. Either they planned it or they're going. But like, okay, post it once. Let people know you're going. Like, that's fine. Like, we set the date and we're going to Cancun afterward. Like, as long as it isn't like every single day. Gotcha. That's kind of what pushes me over the edge. Like, just like calm down for a little bit. Like, or enjoy the time. It's your vacation. It's your honeymoon. It's your whatever. Like, take it in. Don't tell other people what you're doing. Like, so that's.
Yeah, I definitely hear where you're coming from on that one.
It's just, as of late, it's been bothering me. I'm just like,
So I guess I'll do mine then. So I had a really weird instance of weird people being weird today.
oh, weird people being weird. Love it. It's gonna be Ryan's biography.
Yeah, no question. I can't turn my nose up at that. That's basically my life. So I was leaving a friend's apartment today and made a turn out onto the street, and there was there were a whole bunch of cars just stopped for something in the middle of the street. And I look on the right side and I see all these big black birds, and I see on the right side all these big black birds walking around on the ground. And I'm like, oh, those are vultures. And then I look slightly further off to the right and there's a woman in a wheelchair throwing pans of meat. to the Vultures
Lovely.
on the sidewalk, and there are now over 70 vultures walking around on the ground, blocking traffic.
Of course.
And this woman is throwing plates of meat scraps to vultures. I've never seen this in my life. Like, there had to be like a whole colony of vultures there. I mean, I didn't understand what was going on. Like, we're honking our horns to get the vultures out of the road, and it looked like they were either waiting for their turn at the meat, or for her or one of the motorists to die waiting for them to all move so they could get more food. Like, it made no goddamn sense. I don't understand what was happening.
This sounds like a Reddit story. It's that weird.
Yeah, so eventually they parted enough for us to get like one car through.
Oh, how kind.
Yeah. And then the vultures started flying, but they didn't leave. They just started circling real low. I was like, okay, it's a hurricane of buzzards. This is fine. This is a normal Sunday. This is totally okay. What is wrong with this woman? All right, with those two completely normal grievances aired.
Mine's not quite as fun as buzzards, but just the concept of like traffic and how people are nosy.
Oh, the rubbernecking.
Can't drive.
Oh.
Like as soon as it starts to drizzle, 7 accidents. It's water.
I've got to dodge the raindrops.
It's in the Matrix. You can't dodge it like that. That's how this works.
It's a car going back.
Like the Maryland School of Driving is like, is it raining? You have to either dodge the raindrops, outrun them, or just sit and fucking wait for them to stop. Doesn't matter where you are. Highway.
Oh my gosh.
In a fucking garage. Like, what is it about water falling out of the goddamn sky where everybody's like, I need to be driving either 8 miles an hour or 80?
It makes no sense. And then they are just nosy. Like, I see on my Waze app that there is an accident ahead. I'm like, okay, like, if I've been sitting here for 20 minutes, it has to be really, really bad.
Yeah.
Oh no. People are just staring at it on the other side of the street. Why? No.
Yep. Like,
don't
oh no, it's a
traffic.
Somebody rear-ended somebody, and
Yeah.
it caused like for 30 seconds they were in one lane, and they finally got off to the shoulder, and everybody's like, "What's going on?
Are you okay?
Oh my goodness! Oh no, I don't think they're gonna call an ambulance. Damn, I was really hoping to see something interesting today, so I could talk about it at work all day. Oh man." I don't get to be the interesting one at the water cooler. Oh, man. Wait, you let me down, car accident. You let me
I was
down.
just a little offended about it. I was hoping to see some blood or something, but no.
Yeah, like, oh, man, there's not a fire truck or, like, I never see any of that shit on TV. Like, I want to see, like, a helicopter or something, like.
I want to be interviewed as I'm driving past.
When you're driving slow enough.
Exactly.
I remember coming back from when we went out last time, and I didn't have that good of a night at the beer garden.
Yep.
Coming back, my Uber driver took like a completely different way. He came up like the main street instead of like coming right off the exit, and I was like, "This is weird." Like, you come off the exit because my apartment's right there. Right? He's like, "I don't know. GPS like took me this way." So we get to my intersection, and he turns in. There's one car that's like on the side of the intersection, another car flipped over, and both me and him just like turn around. I was like, I can do that because I'm drunk and like curious. You're driving right now at 2 a.m.
Probably not the same thing.
Yeah, like stuff. Yeah, I was like, oh, that explains one thing. Like,
Yeah, everybody wants to be like, oh man, I want to see something interesting, but I don't want to be a part of anything interesting.
Oh, no,
but like,
not at all.
but like, I just want to know.
Oh yeah.
Like, people don't realize like the kind of stuff that happens. Like, if it's a really bad wreck, the car that you're in is not going to be moving. Like, if they're blocking it off, you're not going to be there to see it. If the traffic is moving even at 5 miles an hour, that just means that a car broke down in the lane. Like, relax. Everybody chill. Like, they've been trying to solve that problem with like civil engineering of cars, like traffic jams. Like, somebody just makes a mistake. Like, Oh no, they have to pump their brakes on the highway, and everybody else around them pumps their brakes, and everybody behind them pumps their brakes. And just all in this localized area, you get all these cars slowing down even for nothing. And everybody slows down, and it gets slower and slower because all the people behind them are slowing down. And like, yeah, and like they actually did a study, and they showed on video that you'll still see people pumping their brakes in that area 4 or 5 hours after just a mistake, not even an incident, not like an accident, not a bump. Like people still be pumping their brakes, even like going down from like 55 to 50. Like it's they call it the compression spring effect. Yeah,
And that's why I hate traffic.
yeah, it's stupid.
And people.
Yeah.
People are always on our grievances.
Yeah,
There's always people involved.
that's a fact.
Yeah.
My grievance is just society.
Like, okay, have you guys seen Infinity War?
Yeah,
You finally saw it.
yeah.
So I have to say,
Spoilers? Should we say spoilers?
I'll just say that I'm Team Thanos. Like, I agree.
Thanos did nothing wrong.
We
Yeah.
need, like, we need to play because society is dumb. We've gotten so terrible.
Okay, so quick sidebar. This is really off topic, but I need to say my theory about it, especially now that Ryan's. So there's a popular thing I saw on Reddit was like, well, why didn't Thanos, Steve, I don't know. Why didn't he just double the resources instead of killing half the people? And people are like, oh yeah, that's kind of an obvious answer. My reasoning behind that is because he saw what would happen if he doubled the resources. People would still outgrow him, and then he would have to keep doubling the resources.
The same thing would happen just further down the line.
Yeah, so he just killed half the people and sent a message.
Exactly. And it'll take longer to repopulate half the universe to get to that point again than to keep doubling resources every how many years.
So yeah, I'm glad you agree with me on that, because a lot of Reddit was like, oh wait, yeah, that's a good point. That's a huge plot hole.
No, it's not. The same thing will happen.
Yeah, this is a movie 10 years in the making. They like planned this out.
Yeah, that it had happened in the comics too. I think he justified it too. Is that no? Thanos' reasoning was a lot dumber in the comics. He had the hots for Lady Death, and he was trying to impress her.
Because he's obsessed with her. Yeah. Trying to court death.
And she had a one-off line about it's not about killing, it's about balance. And he's like, balance. I got this. Hold my beer.
Watch this.
Alright, well, now that we got our Avengers, I'm sure that explained the mid-credit scene of Ant-Man a little. You understood that.
Oh, you saw Ant-Man before?
I saw Ant-Man before I saw Infinity War.
Oh, no.
You need to understand, I had to basically deal with, like, half spoilers the entire time. People were like, oh, yeah, it sucks about Spider-Man, right? And I was like, I haven't seen the movie, shut up!
Yeah, so that mid-credit scene really must have fucked your head a little bit.
Yeah, I had gotten the idea by that point of what had happened. Because I just saw, like, I got to a point where I was like, I can't avoid Facebook from now till it goes onto my Plex server. So, after like 3 weeks, I went back on, and the first thing I saw was R.I.P. Spider-Man, and I was like, fuck! And I ignored it. So, because in my brain, I had coped with it in this funny idea that Loki had just kind of done an illusion and looked like Spider-Man and died or something. Or there was some kind of trick, or there was a post-credit scene where Loki is just like, hello, everyone. People won't see this movie. People are not going to see this movie for a little while. Tell them Spider-Man dies. Like, you could totally see that happening, though, right? So my denial was strong.
Yeah. And then you saw it happen, you're like, oh, damn, that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, it honestly, I feel like it didn't ruin the movie for me.
Oh, no. And then, like, they already announced the next Spider-Man. So.
Yeah, so they kind of blew that.
And Black Panther and Doctor Strange are all
and Guardians 3. Yeah. So like
well, Guardians 3 isn't like it's an ensemble movie, so like.
Oh,
so
is it?
Here's my question.
5 of them.
Oh, so you think
like you could take one out.
Here's my question: why is Gamora in the Soul Stone?
Because the mods of Thanos did nothing wrong. Put her there.
But she died to unlock the Soul Stone. Like, Thanos didn't have the Soul Stone at that point. Why is she in it?
He needed the necessary sacrifice, so I guess that... So, like, from what I got, if you're the sacrifice, you're trapped in it, and possibly if you were killed as a result of the Soul Stone,
Yeah.
you might also be in it. So like, I've seen a theory where like some of the Avengers like might also be in the Soul Stone because they were killed by the effects of it. But I don't know. We have to wait. What, another 6 months to see that? 7?
Yeah.
8? More than that.
No, it's like a year. Well, no, it's already.
It's early 2019.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like May.
it's the same time. It's like April and May.
Yeah, sorry.
Man, this is definitely a thing that we're talking about today.
Well, real quick, because it has been a while since we talked about our patron saint. Idris Elba might be the new Bond.
Oh,
finally!
I am
Finally!
so here.
He tweeted. He said Elba, Idris Elba, and everyone was like, "What?"
And then the producer of the Vultures is like, I'm heavily considering it. Like, he's just a badass motherfucker. Like, he doesn't matter what race he is.
Well, it's not so much, in my opinion, the race, because like I go off the theory that Bond is a code name. That's just what I like.
Yep.
I know it's been proven wrong, but I still like to go with.
Here's the thing, it was proven wrong in a bad movie. It's automatically not canon.
So, but he is, I mean, he could still kick ass, but he is like 47 or something. Like, he's kind of old.
Wasn't
Daniel Craig wasn't that young?
Was he in his 40s?
Maybe late 30s, but he was pretty old. But also, there was a lot of backlash when they cast him because he was the first blonde, too. So people just don't like change.
Yeah, basically. But I'm excited. If it is true, I'm excited for that. Like, I would, yeah. I mean, we still got Bond 25 first that comes out next.
And I still haven't seen Spectre. I need to see that.
I've just heard so many like mixed and bad things about it.
Like, my dad did really like to see it. Him and I had very similar tastes. So, like, I love Christoph Waltz. So I was like, oh, that's disappointing. It didn't do that well.
I mean, we could be wrong. It could have something to it that's a little fun, at least.
Yeah. So,
like, who knows? I'll have to. All right, so
let's get into our main topic. Yeah,
do it.
If it doesn't scan, it's free of other jobs. So that basically means if you've ever worked as a cashier in any place and something doesn't scan and the customer is like, "Oh, it must be free, right?" No, it's not. You just punch in the code and you still get charged. Like it's a joke. It means it's a joke that customers say thinking they're original, but every other customer says it basically. So of other jobs. So I don't know how much experience you have in the food industry, Antonio, but me and Ryan obviously worked together for a little while.
I don't know if it's food industry.
Okay, well, we have lifeguarding. Yeah, we've been in the lifeguarding industry.
Oh God.
That's my share. I'm working it into my stand-up now. Just people coming up to lifeguarding and be like, "So you're the lifeguard, huh?" Yeah, like
I have a red shorts and a whistle, buddy. What do you think I'm
holding a big red tube that says guard. Like, it's like, no, I'm just here to watch you. Like,
I'm the Heimdall of the swing.
Yeah. So that's one. People walking up as lifeguards, or the one I've seen. I've never gotten it. I don't know if you've ever gotten it, but like I've seen it in Reddit. People walk up to lifeguards and be like, "So if I start to drown, you're gonna save me, right?"
Yes.
So I'm just like, only because I have to.
And I'm like, no. Like
I'm not authorized to save you. I'm authorized to tell someone else that you're drowning.
Only if you say please.
There was this little kid that would come to my pool every day. He was like 10, like he was a strong swimmer. He was like, "Mr. Antonio, if I saw drowning, I'm gonna say," I'm like, "No, because you know how to swim." And he went and told his mom. I'm like, "Ma'am, I was being sarcastic. Obviously, it's my job. Your son's a strong swimmer. Clearly, I'm going to save him, but he doesn't need to be saved. I was just being a dick to your son."
Because he asked me every single day.
Dumb question, so that's what you get.
Dumb question, dumb answer.
Of kids being dicks. I read the Reddit story of the guy farting on the kid's face.
Oh, I love that story so goddamn much. Oh, man.
It is so well written and hilarious. And basically, the TLDR of this is the guy who's like 6'7" farted in a 10-year-old's face because he was being like a dick to his mom, and like it was in Target, and he was just being a little shit. And he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna fart in this kid's face."
I'm on that man's side.
Yeah, I love that story.
I'll have to read it.
Oh man.
Oh shit! There's a guy. Oh goddamn! There's a YouTuber who just reads those legendary comments and stories and just orates them with occasionally like special effects and like sound effects and shit.
That has to be awesome.
It's on there. I'll have to find it and send it to you. Oh, it's so
That's how
fucking
I
good.
spent the past 2 days of work because nobody's coming to the pool. Speaking of lifeguarding. And my other coworker was like, so what are you doing? Like, why are you on your phone so much? I was like, oh, man. I can't even start to explain these stories to you. That and the swamps of Dagobah.
The Swamps of Dagobah was the worst thing I've ever read.
Yeah.
Did you read The Jolly Rancher?
I did read the Jolly.
No. Nope.
You know what? You guys seem pretty scarred. So we write these down so I can read them later, and I'll be like, oh, I read them. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're not gonna thank us, but you're welcome.
Be prepared for that one.
This is bad air right now.
That is. Oof.
Oh, I have one. So I worked in IT for all of like 3 months.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, back to our main topic.
Yeah, so didn't do much with it. But anytime a person hears that, they're like, oh, so can you fix my TV? I'm like, I was a project manager. Like, I don't know all IT things. I'm not a handyman. I don't know how to fix things, okay? I was at the desk.
Did you ever get the, oh, since you're here, can you also do this? Like,
For my job, interview for my job I have now, she was like, oh, I see you were in IT. Maybe you can help us out. Like, I'm not applying for that position, so no, I don't think I can. So not a common one, but like if you've been in IT, they expect you to know everything about electronics in the entire world.
Yeah. Like, oh, what's this on my phone? Like,
Dude, like
I use Android. I can't fix your iPhone. I'm sorry.
Like iScript, I don't know what you're talking
I literally follow the advice of the IT crowd, and I turn it off and turn it back on again.
about.
95% of the time it
that
works.
Most of the time.
I just love the episode where they've got the tape player playing over the phone. Like, okay, can you just confirm for me that you are absolutely certain that you do in fact have it plugged in?
Great show. Have you seen that?
What's up?
The IT crowd?
No, I have not.
It's the whole thing's on Netflix. It's amazing.
Oh, perfect.
It was on Netflix. Is it back on Netflix?
It was on Netflix last month.
Oh,
It's great. It's a British sitcom. It's very short. There's only like 6 episodes a season.
easy binge.
Yeah. And it's hilarious.
And it gets better and better.
It
really does.
That's awesome.
Matt Berry is like one of the best like late series additions any comedy show has ever gotten. In fact, if you ever want to watch something intentionally terrible to the point of being fucking gold, Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. It's 6 episodes, like each episode's maybe 10 minutes or so, and it's just like spoof. It's like a spoof of an early 80s like sci-fi horror series. It's a spoof, right? So it's made intentionally god awful, and it's like my favorite thing ever. Like it's a jumping off point for like whenever I'm hanging out with somebody new. I was like, hey, how do you feel about things that are intentionally terrible? And if they say yes, I can be their friend, and then I can show them that. But I was working at getting back to the main topic.
Yeah.
I was working at a hospital for a little while there, and what I would always get every single time we had someone would come in by ambulance, and their family would be in the waiting room. And of course, you know, you're like, obviously it's a really bad day for them. They're scared, they're stressed. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you've got the people back in triage and they're getting looked at. And a lot of times the family will get there before the ambulance does. And so what happens is, oh, this person is coming in by ambulance. Okay, I don't have them on my board right now. So the ambulance is probably still on its way, or they're in triage and they're putting their information in back there. Do you know how long it'll be? No. I really don't. I have no idea. That's someone else's job. I couldn't even tell you who. And then how much longer will it be? I was like, well, you've been here 20 minutes, and there are 30 other people in the waiting room. The longest one's been here for 5 hours. And we have no beds open. Surprise. Well, how much longer will it take? Like, as long as it takes to get 30 people out. I can't tell you. Yeah. Like, people are just nosy. People are so damn nosy. It's like somebody like people ask each other stuff, like when they're waiting to be like spoken to by the registrars at the front desk. Like they're like, "Oh, what are you here for?" Like don't ask people that because you don't want to know the answer. Most people don't want to talk about it. How often I had to like lean over the desk to people so they could just whisper into my ear with their sick faces and be like, I might need to be tested for an STD. Like, fucking, why are you coming to the emergency room?
That's not
Is it gonna fall off?
It might.
Did you eat a Jolly Rancher earlier?
And then like we have a quick look nurse next to me, and I hear them, and they say like full volume, literally sitting 2 feet to my left in the middle of the waiting room. Yeah, there's a bump on my penis. Like,
Thanks.
cool. Why did I need to be whispered to? Like, did you not want my computer to hear you? I don't understand people.
I always got in a previous place of employment when we were required to ask people for allergies. And people were like, oh yeah, I'm allergic to everything. Okay, you can leave.
Yeah,
like, sorry.
I always loved when people would ignore you asking that.
Oh, yeah.
And then be like, this has tomatoes. I'm allergic to tomatoes. Like,
Then say something.
You asked for extra pico de gallo. I didn't know it would have tomatoes in it. Then why did you want extra? It's what it is.
Because it sounds like a cool name. It sounds funky.
It sounds like authentic Mexican.
Like, ooh,
like,
pico de gallo. It's tomatoes, bitch. It's a lot of tomato.
It's just a whole mess of tomatoes and some cilantro and onions. Like, you're done. I can't. People, damn it.
Yeah, people. Alright, well, to go off the asking how long it was, that happened to me a few times. Like, I would have just put in their order, and I'm walking, like, to another table. They're like, oh, how much longer it's going to be? Like, I literally just put it in. Like, ticket times are a thing that exists. Like,
at one point, I had one customer who was like, and at our old restaurant, actually, they were like, oh, I want this, I want these wings, like, extra crispy. And then I want this burger well done, but I want the wings first. Do you know how much longer the burger will be? Okay, so you want the wings to run for quadruple their normal cook time.
yes.
It takes 8 minutes. So 32 minutes for your wings. And then probably another 7 minutes for your burger. You want your wings to cook for about half hour. I'm not sure you're going to enjoy them. Bring them out. These are so hard. You wanted them extra crispy.
You added 2 extras, buddy, and this is what that is.
Like, if you wanted extra crispy, just say extra crispy. But you guys never cook them hard enough.
Go home, cooking yourself.
Here's a lighter. Like, oh God.
Restaurant business. Ugh.
Yep.
I think another one for lifeguarding is, if it still rains, you still have to be out here, right? Yup. As long as there's no thunder or lightning, I'll be sitting out here getting wet. I'm gonna hate you. But
Yeah.
Do you at least get an umbrella?
yes.
Thank God.
Ooh, but the last pool I worked at, I did not have an umbrella.
Oh,
Like
that.
in the stand, I was just sitting there baking all day. I was like, I told my manager, I told the pool manager, I'm like, hey, I need an umbrella. Like, you're going to get me to, like, I'm going to have the cancer. Like, I need an umbrella.
It's gonna be extra crispy.
I'm really extra crispy. And we're already dark, so like, I just run it in for nighttime and stuff. And they told me for the whole summer, okay, we'll get you one. Guess what never happened? I got my umbrella. So I just took my towel, just put it over my head. Looked like Quasimodo.
Rocking the Cam Newton look. I always get the kids at my current pool, though. I mean, they're kids, so they're kind of stupid, but they're still young. If there's, like, a huge crack of thunder, I'll be like, all right, everybody out, like, at least 30 minutes. Probably longer, because it usually happens, like, all afternoon. I'm like, yeah, everybody out, and I do the whistle, and they get out, and a few of them would just be like, oh, that wasn't thunder, that was a plane. It's like, no, it wasn't. Like, no, like, get out. And then
I sit here all day. I know what planes sound like.
yeah.
Like, no. Oh, and sorry, go ahead and cut you off. But
I'm just saying, like, that's just how.
and at my old pool, there was like a dumpster that was right next to us, and kids are always banging noise. So they'd be like, "No, little Billy just hit the dumpster. Nobody's over there. No, stop. That was thunder. Get out the pool."
I had some kid. He asked. He was like, "Why do we have to get out if there's thunder?" I was like, "Well, if there's thunder, there's lightning." He's like, "So." I was
It's
like,
very, very frightening.
Like, would you? I was like, you can get out and wait half an hour until it passes, or you can get electrocuted. He's like, okay, I'll get electrocuted. I was like, did you get that on record? Like, can I not get sued if he dies of electrocution?
Like, chlorine is a great conductor for electricity. And guess what you're swimming in? Water and chlorine!
Yeah. I had one of my coworkers, he was a high schooler, working a high school summer job, had to clear the pool. And then he was like, oh, since the kids are gone, I'm going to start, like, to skim the pool. I was like, you're going to put a metal rod into a pool during a thunderstorm. Like,
Smartest idea I've heard in my entire life.
Have any of your pools ever been struck by lightning?
I don't think so, no. At least not while I was there.
Yeah, not while I was there. At my school, that pool got struck by lightning actually 2 years before I started there. So,
Okay.
And it's not grounded. So.
Oh, lovely.
I mean, none of the kids got hurt. My supervisor actually got struck because she was on the phone calling like to let security and people know it struck as she was on the phone. So she's good. She's perfectly fine. Like nothing happened. But
did you have one of those like marks that kind of look like a tattoo?
I never noticed.
Okay,
like she'll wear like sleeveless in the warmer weather, and I never noticed anything.
It's pretty wild. Like, I wouldn't know what to do. I'd be like, okay, pool's closed forever.
Yeah.
All y'all get out.
Yeah, I'm going to go drink to repress what I just saw and have a nice life.
Like, I've gone blind from near lightning strikes. Like, it's pretty wild. Like, I had a bolt strike directly in front of me, maybe 25 feet away from me. I was inside, it was outside, and I went completely flash blind. And my vision didn't come back for like 2 or 3 seconds. Like, my mom thought a laser beam was shooting through my house because, like, she said it was like almost a rainbow of colors.
Wow.
Like, shooting into my back door just because it caught the glass at a certain angle.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, whoosh, prismatically, it just went right down my stairs.
Prismatically.
Yeah, I know words. I know words.
Prismatically.
Impressive set.
Hey, I probably used it wrong, for what it's worth.
Trying to think of any other.
I mean, customers / guests pull so much dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not even like jokes. Like they're just stupid.
yeah, like, did I ever tell you about potty training on the patio?
No.
Oh man, so this isn't something that ever happens, but it happened one time with like a party of 15 people at my last restaurant. We had the patio with the fire pit.
Right.
So these 15 people with their like 2 like potty training age kids sat at the fire pit. And so got them all drinks, a couple of appetizers went out, and they're like, yeah, we're just going to hang out for a little while and just enjoy the day. So we just kind of ignored them for a while. And my coworker Phil was the guy actually taking care of them. And somebody came in from the patio, different table, and said, are you guys going to let them do that? That's disgusting. And we're like, what? And so Phil goes out there, and we see a parade of people walking off the patio and leaving. So what had happened, I saw one of them carrying something very large, and I was just praying it wasn't what it actually absolutely was. So these people stripped down their little tiny children to nakedness, like completely naked, that age of potty training, where like diapers aren't helping.
Yeah.
And so they were completely naked outside in Hunt Valley in the middle of the day. And they had a little potty training toilet out there, and they would go and everybody would applaud.
Oh my god.
And then they would bag it up and hang it on the railing. And like,
what?
And they were out there and doing that for like 30 minutes before someone came in and told us. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Are they banned for life? I
Yes,
hope so.
yes they are.
Okay, good.
You don't get to poop on the patio of a restaurant
And hang it up.
and come back.
Look what I did.
Like, no. And they were outraged. They're like, they can't, we can't let them wear anything or they'll mess it. Like, then don't take them out.
Yeah, then don't leave.
Like, in that stage, you keep those little motherfuckers at home. Like, mom and dad don't need to go out and drink. Like, that's just...
That's correct.
Yeah. It's bad. Just people, man. People.
People. It always comes back to people.
They try so much shit.
I remember one time it was a table, like I guess they're on a date or something, and they literally told me at the beginning, they were like, hey, like at the end we're gonna want some cornbread to go. I was like, okay, and I wrote it down, and then I was like, I'll put it in at the end so you guys get it with your check. They're like, okay, that's fine. Ordered their meal, which came with cornbread anyway, so they got cornbread, and then checking on them, everything's going fine. And I said, okay, like, if you guys are ready, I'll get your check. They're like, okay. And I had cornbread written down, but I, like, thought it was the one that came with the meal. And I, like, totally forgot that they wanted it to go. Came back, they paid, they left, like, a 10% tip. And then on the top of the check, they were like, by the way, you forgot our cornbread. I was like... Really? Like, I know I messed up, but, like, remind me at the end of the meal.
All you have to say is, oh,
Like, if you want something, ask me.
Yeah, you could even be rude about it. Be like, you do our cornbread in yet? And, like, then I would remember. And you get your cornbread. But, like, don't tell me at the beginning of the meal and then, like, 30 to 45 minutes later, think I remembered. Like, I'm not serving you. Like, I had 2 other tables to worry about at the time.
We'll see. Passive aggressive these days.
I'm still angry about the one table that got 6 different flavors of frozen margarita, and we're angry that it took a while. Like, we had one bartender, and they were like, "Oh, I want blueberry peach." Like,
that sounds kind of good.
It was good. I understand why they ordered it, but it was like, I want strawberry and peach. I want blueberry and peach. I want raspberry and blueberry. Like, I want just strawberry. Like, so you want 6 different frozen margaritas. And I told them ahead of time, like, hey, this is going to take a while. I have 1 bartender and 1 blender.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to, like, make 6 margaritas individually. And, like, it's going to take a while and it's going to be loud over there. So just letting you guys know what's up. I'm going to grab you some waters. And they wanted 6 separate checks, which they did not tell me until the end of the meal.
Of course.
And then none of them tipped because the drinks took too long. And they kept writing D's nuts on my checks. Got him.
Wow, what pieces of shit.
Yep. It was a fun night.
D's nuts. Wow.
They stayed till after close.
Oh, those scoops.
Yeah.
Gotta love them.
I had one group come in during snack attack.
Oh, God. Not the snack attack.
Ordered wings. Like the small appetizer wings.
Right.
Each got a soda. So sodas were free. Hoping to squeeze any amount of tip I could out of them. Then they were like, well, we're going to wait a little bit and then order some more. I was like, okay, like, you're my last table. I kind of hope you get out, like, as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So, and I kept checking on them. I was like, you guys good? You guys good? And they got refills every now and again, but then they got to the point they were like, okay, we're going to order more wings, extra crispy. And I was like, okay, I'll put them in for you. I come back out to give them drinks, and they're like, oh, by the way, we want to leave and we just want our check. I was like, I literally just put, like, your wing order in. They're like, yeah, we decided we didn't want them. I was like, well, what am I supposed to do now? Like, the kitchen's literally about to drop them in the fryer. Like, so, you end up having to talk to the manager, talk to the cook, and be like, hey, like, they want to leave, gotta get avoided off the check. But yeah, especially at previous place of employment. So, yeah.
Yeah, they sure do.
I was actually there recently.
Oh, where?
A couple weeks ago, yeah. I was like, hey, Entertainment companies working.
I kind of like. I don't mind going there. I don't think it's a bad place to eat, but like working there, you kind of know now. Like,
there's a dark, heavy kind of knowledge that comes from working there.
I think the last time I was there, I want to say was September, almost a year ago.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I think I've been there this year once. I don't recognize anyone who's there anymore. I'm kind of sad about it, but also happy for all of the people we work with.
I talked to one of our managers the other night. Ran into him at a bar. They're really tall. You're a big tall one. So.
The one we hate.
Yes. Alright, well, any last ones? Or should we get into questions?
We can move on to questions.
Yeah, I can't think of any other ones that are similar.
Questions it is. Alright.
He's opening the notebook.
Yes. Opening the notebook. Well, since that's a good... We kind of vented about workplace stuff, so the question is favorite workplace memories. So any good thing that happened.
Oh,
Any job that you had.
Did I ever tell you about what I did with my one coworker Matt? With the crayons?
Possibly, maybe, probably not.
Spent an entire shift just putting crayons, sugar packets, not toothpicks, sugar packets, fruit picks, sampling straws, anything we could find into his pockets or apron without him noticing.
Oh,
So
that's
like
Hours. And like it was me and I got 5 other people involved in it. And I just remember my one coworker Murph did like a crouched, like knee almost to the ground, like 3-point Steph Curry half-court shot, like into his back right pocket. It went in, didn't even disturb the fabric in front of like 7 of us. And we were all like, oh my God! Like, we were all freaking out and laughing our asses off, and we weren't even hiding it. And he turns out like, what? What'd I miss? Like, nothing at all. Just, and by the end of the night, I have a picture of this on my phone. Or I used to. I had to change phones over, and I lost the picture, and it hurts me deeply to this day, of him with just his hands out, like cupping all of these crayons that he had at the end of the night, and he had been emptying out his apron over the course of the night because he kept finding them. He's like, "Where are these coming from?" Eventually, he caught me like 4 hours after I started doing it. I had gotten like 16 things of crayons into his apron by this point, and at one point he says like, I thought it was you. I thought it was you. And I was like, it's not only me. You should check your back pocket. And he checks it, and it's like the size of an overstuffed wallet. Just like a fistful of sugar packets and crayons. Somebody put an entire strawberry in there. It was my favorite day. And every so often he gets a little big for his britches, and so I would just completely stuff his jacket full of like chopsticks or fruit picks or crayons. And like he has one of those jackets that's like, hey, what if you had a pocket that you couldn't access like ever in a completely random place that you'll never use? Like all these little smuggler's pockets. Like there was one on the inside of the right sleeve that I stuffed full of fruit picks so that it would like jab him when he put it on. And there's like a vent on the outside of the ribs that I stuffed full of chopsticks. So it would just be really inflexible. He had a little hole in the lining, stuffed that full of crayons. He was real mad.
So it sounds like your favorite day at work was being a bully.
Pretty much.
Nice.
He thought it was hilarious. He enjoyed it.
Oh, he enjoyed it. Being a bully is the best. I'm not shaming you. That sounds like a great time.
See,
Be a star, right?
the key is that I encouraged everyone to get me back, and one day they did. They absolutely did.
Okay.
My girlfriend got a bunch of like not inflatable, what am I talking about? Like foam stickers. Like those little like weird crafty things.
Yeah.
And she brought them into my work and gave like 200 of them to the host who distributed them among the staff. And it was their job to stick them to me without me noticing. And they got up to like 50 before I noticed.
Wow.
Yeah. Because like I noticed that people were like touching my back a whole lot that night. And like people would be like, Ryan, your shoe's untied. And to their credit, it actually was. And they just like oh, let me just get around you. Like just palm a couple onto my back. And I didn't realize why all my guests were trying not to laugh or thought I was really funny that night. But it was a good night. And I definitely like, I was like, well done, everybody. Great job. Like, solid work. It was a great, great day.
That's also fantastic.
I think my, or unless you have.
I mean, I have one.
This is great podcast there, guys.
All right, so then I guess I'll go. Okay. It was back when I was still lifeguarding. It was this mom who would always give me and my partner a hard time. Like, not the ones that have a clean after we just cleaned it. Like, it was a thunderstorm, so a lot of ladies were like, hey, like, heads up. Like, we're going to open the pool like an hour later so we can get all of it out so you don't complain. But then she goes to the manager, that opened it on time. You couldn't see the bottom of the pool. It was too many leaves. So just stuff like that every day. So then she had, like, her daughter's birthday there one day. And I was shocked. And then, like, they gave us food. So I was like, cool, you give me free food? Awesome. As soon as I got my plate, I took a Milky Way bar, threw it in the pool. I was like, oh, no. Guys, we have to get out. There's poop in the pool. I shut it down for the rest of the night. It was like 3 hours left. I'm like, yeah. And like, we don't have a chlorinator, so we have to do it by hand. It takes a long time to process everything. So we're going to need about 4 hours. But you close the day. Oh, is it that time? I'm sorry to hear that. Thanks for the food. Best day of my life at that job. I'm a very spiteful person, so it was great. I saw the opportunity, and I took it.
That's solid.
That's a great story.
I think my favorite was that previous place of employment, and it was Kelvin's last day, and I was messing with him the entire night. He had a lot of fun too. He made an extra margarita by accident, so he was having some, and I was having some, and I was having mine out of the kids' cup. So every time I went to the bar, I hit it at the bar. Every time that entire shift, I was getting my drinks from the bar fountains. And I'd just be like, Swoop. Every time. I started special prepping the stuff for the bar. I did the lyrics to Mambo Number 5.
Oh shit, I remember that.
Yeah, because they had like the little like special button, like you could add a little of something. So I was like a little bit of Monica. And it was every name I put, and he's like, really?
Wow, that's fantastic.
What else? I also did the lyrics to Hamilton when I was special prepping.
Yes, love Hamilton.
I did what was the one? I did like strawberry lemonade, no lemon, just aid from Lafayette. And then the last ticket of the night I put in, I was like, tell the story of tonight. Like, that was great. That was a fun night.
That sounds like a great night. Right.
One time at my last job, one of my coworkers was like, he had a similar idea to you, and he sent in some I think it was some Kendrick lyrics in his special prep on some drinks. And one of the bartenders was like, "Yeah, you guys just need to all do this. Outdo Sean." And I was like, "All right." So I started. I ran a ticket of 5 drinks and maxed out the special prep for every single one, and wrote out the lyrics to "Nobody Speak" by Run the Jewels. If for the uninitiated, it is a song that starts with "Picture this, I'm a bag of dicks, put me to your lips. I'm the shit, punch a baby bear in his shit."
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I did the entire song over the course of the night, and I won.
Oh, that's nice.
I won handily.
All right, next question. We have 3 questions today. So, second question comes from Sean in Santa Barbara.
Okay.
What is the best prank you or a friend ever pulled?
I already told that story.
What story did you? What was it?
Operation Garbage Mat. Stuffing his pockets with crayons.
Okay, that one.
and that
I
nonsense.
thought you meant on a previous episode. I think mine wasn't so much as a prank. It was just like really stupid. During band camp one year. Yes, band camp.
One time at band camp?
Yep. It was my senior year and it was my best friend's sophomore year. I was a tuba player, he was a baritone player, so we were both in low brass. And we were the typical like Sean and Gus or JD and Turk. Like we were together all the time, we were goofy, and like everybody knew like if something was going on, the other was involved in some way, right? Like, so we had an hour and a half to 2 hours of free time every day. Band camp was over 5 days. So what we did was we had lunch and then free time. We would steal a stack of plastic cups from the cafeteria, like a huge stack, bring them back to the cabin, and everybody was outside, like either at the pool or just chilling. Right? We were in the cabin stacking the rafters with plastic cup pyramids. And I think at the end we had like 394 cups.
Damn.
And literally every single rafter like was plastic cup pyramid. And I think it was on the Segna last night, like one of the bottom cups fell at like 2 a.m.
Oh, then all the cups.
Yeah, so one of the sections just went.
Where did these come from?
Yeah. Okay, well, he's like, damn it, Tim. I'm sorry. So, I've done mini versions of that since, but that was. I don't know if I could ever top that one. Like, didn't harm anyone either. It was just fun.
I do have a stupid story from the hospital I worked at. We had a MCE drill, mass casualty event drill, where it's basically they got a bunch of blow up dolls to be pretend patients in a shut down part of the ER, and basically practicing like how fast we can move patients in and out and get all the work done for all these fake patients and get IVs into a balloon man.
Don't pop them.
Literally part of the drill. And they left a bunch of the dummies out for a couple of days after the drill. And so one of my trainers and I and a couple of the nurses and I think one of the doctors got involved as well, which is really surprising because they're all always like running around or making important calls or whatever. So the fact that one of the doctors actually helped us do this incredibly dumb shit is very touching to me. So we found some spare gowns and gloves, and we got our printers to print out celebrity faces, and we started printing wristbands, and we dressed them up, and we just put them at workstations in the hospital. My personal favorite was Channing Tatum, because he had a little Channing Tatum wristband, and he had Channing Tatum's face, and we drew hair on him with markers, and we dressed him up. There was a spare pair of jeans somewhere, so he was wearing jeans and everything. It was great. And we had him laid out on a gurney, like on a travel gurney in the middle of the ER for a week.
Jesus.
And we had an empty saline bag running a line into Channing Tatum.
Wow.
Like he was fully set up. We had a broken EKG, and like it was set up onto his chest and everything. Like we were trying to save Channing Tatum's life for a week.
Wow.
And then one of the higher ups in the hospital walked through, and we were like, "Oh, somebody's gonna get yelled at." And then I will never forget the look on this guy's face when he turns. He's like, "Why? Why?" And then we were just like, we had a little teensy bit of free time, and he just goes, "A teensy bit."
Right.
Okay, goes off into one of the spare. We had a few spare rooms, like computer rooms, that sort of thing, to do like clerical type work. Goes into there, and there are 8 more sitting at desks, like with gloves up on the computer keyboards, taped down. And he's just like, "Okay, I'm making a call." Sure enough, like 2 hours later, all the dummies were gone. And we hid Channing Tatum, though. He stayed for another 3 weeks.
You have to protect the celebrities.
Exactly. But we had a bunch. We had a whole bunch. They all had celebrity faces on them. It was just Channing Tatum was in critical condition. needed to be saved.
He was skipping too hard, matching light, and he broke his leg. I think the funniest / fucked up now that I did. I've only been saved by a lifeguard in my life one time. I was 10 years old, and it was because I was trying to act out the scene from The Sandlot. So I intentionally started out guys. So I was at summer camp and at UMBC, and the college kids were lifeguards, and so they were pretty high. I was like, oh, how you doing? I was 10, I was a dumb kid. I was like,
making moves at 10.
Exactly. I was, I want to kiss her. So I was like, all right, guys, I'm acting like I'm drunk. You guys go tell her, right? So I do it. I'm under for 30 seconds, whatever. I feel somebody scoop me up. I'm thinking, okay, this is it. Don't choke. And then as they pull me up, I just peek. And it's some dude named Chad. I'm like, you told me.
Oh, Chad's ruined all the great stories of the time.
Chad.
I'm like,
what a Chad.
I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And ran around. I'm like, guys, what happened? They were like, yeah, believe it or not, she just went on a break. And we had time to tell you. I'm like, it was 10 seconds. I was on the one. Tap me. Do something. So, almost kissed a dude named Chad at 10. So my prank backfired.
That's fantastic.
Chad. Ryan, you reminded me of one that I did in high school involving this guy.
What's that?
That appears to be some kind of goat or something with an afro.
This is Afro Ken.
Okay.
To try to explain, since we don't have a camera yet, it's this little stuffed dog about the size of my hand with this rainbow afro on its head. Comes off. Me and friend from Plastic Cup Story, put Afro Ken across in the band room at a different spot every day. So at the end of every school day, we'd go back to the band room and find a different spot. So it used to be the director's podium or somebody's stand or in the percussion section, and then we were running out of spots. So we had to get more and more creative. So we did it in the lockers. He was peering through the lockers.
That is very creative. Okay.
And the last one we did was the ceiling above where the director was. So I took a couple chairs. My friend held me, and I slipped up a ceiling tile, and the back 2 feet got caught. So it was just hanging there. So at this point, it's become a thing. Every day, people are like, "Where is he? Where is he? Where is he?" And then everybody's like, "Oh, he's I don't know where. I can't find him." Right? And somebody's like, "Oh, wait, he's up there." And I was like, "Whoa!" And the director sees, looks back down, and then he looks back up, and he's like, "How did you do that?"
Did they know?
Did they know it was you guys?
Or...
At the beginning, they didn't.
Okay.
It was kind of just this mystery,
me and him
were just like, "Oh no."
And then eventually they probably realized that you two were staying after every day.
We stayed after every day, whether it was for a club or sport or just because we like to hang out. So I think the director knew because he was pretty with it. He was aware of stuff, but he knew it was harmless, and he was like, "I'm gonna let these guys do this."
Awesome. That's funny.
The last question is from Betty at the Crest. If you had an unlimited budget and time, where would you take your vacation? Ooh. So you could go for as long as you want, and you could go anywhere you want, and you have budget to do it.
But you can only go to one place?
At a time. So we'll say, if you could go up to 3 different vacations. Unless you want to make it tough and choose only one.
But I meant I couldn't go to the Bahamas and then Europe or some shit like that.
No, one vacation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would rent mansions / castles all across Europe. That's my shit.
Castle hop.
Yeah. Castle surf.
Ireland's my top bucket list country.
But if you do go, promise you won't post a countdown on your Snapchat. 362 days until Ireland.
I've heard to do Ireland properly, you need to not see the touristy stuff. You need to explore the countryside. So that's what I would do. I would rent a car and just drive around Ireland, find some golf courses, play some golf. And then if I had a backup, I would go to Australia. That's number 2.
Australia would be pretty interesting, I think.
I would love to see like all of Australia because I know it's so big. Like people only tend to go to like Melbourne or like Sydney. Yeah, like they don't really see the entire country when they go.
Yeah.
I would just.
Question is, would you go east to west or west to east?
North to south.
But then you still have to go. Ugh.
I do what that dude in Europe just did with his bike. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
He had a GPS and he drove or biked to certain places, and he ended up spelling out "send nudes."
That's amazing.
Wait, that's great.
That's the greatest.
That's so funny.
So that's what I would do in Australia.
You would say.
I would bike out, send nudes.
My number 2 is Australia, but my number 1 is Greece.
Ooh, yeah, Greece is up there.
It's like I like the Greek mythology, so you see all that, and so many beaches, and so many different parts.
I would love to
Greece
take like a Mediterranean cruise. I've heard those are really cool.
You know what I've heard is amazing? Cyprus. That's like, it's off the coast. It's like in the Mediterranean, but it's like sort of between Greece and Turkey, if memory serves.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's an island, and it's really cool. Like lots of really good like water stuff to do, like lots of cliffs and caves and all kinds of crazy nonsense. So if you're outdoorsy, I've heard Cyprus is awesome.
Greece is cool. Their economy is still like shit though, so I'm sure you could.
Greece?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you could do a lot with a little amount of money. That's how.
Won that country. Yes, I'm an American here to save you all, except I don't just spend my money and big ball out.
Yeah.
I've heard the same thing about like Thailand. Is if you
my
stay away from the touristy spots, $100 can last you like a month.
Everything there is so cheap, and they also like kind of barter too. So like, you can always like whittle your prices down.
Yeah.
So it could say like 80 baht, be like no, I'll do 40. You just keep going back and forth until you lower it down. So that's awesome.
Make, steal, barter, borrow.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like that's a thing.
Big steal, barter, borrow. I like that.
Isn't that the lyrics?
Lyrics to what?
To the first song in Hamilton?
I think it is, yeah.
Bang, steal, borrow, borrow. I don't know. I'll tweet at Lynn. I'm getting good at Twitter past couple times. Scott Hansen replied to Sports Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought you were saying Chris Hansen. I'm like,
No,
what?
No, Scott.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Red Zone. Scott.
Yeah, Scott Hansen. That's awesome.
Yeah. Chris D'Elia's liked a few of my tweets.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I love Chris D'Elia.
Brent Morin replied and liked.
That's
Vidiots. One of the guys from Vidiots personally responded, and then main channel liked one of my tweets.
All right.
I'm just saying, I'm good on the Twitter game.
You're winning at Twitter.
If we need someone,
Twitter
I
game.
got
All right. Tweet MVP Timmy Lemon Shirts.
one of our friends from previous place of employment, it was her birthday the other day, so I wished her happy birthday, and he responded, "Thanks, Timidactyl."
Somebody called me Rhinoceros the other day. I was like, oh shit, call back.
You're still on my phone, is
That's a
that?
good one. I just had a kid call me Mr. Anchovio.
Oh
First time in
man.
my entire life. It was
Yes.
fantastic. I was
That's
like, wait,
top
that's
notch.
fucking funny.
That's
Like,
great.
How have I gone 24 years and not heard that? Like, nobody thought
Yeah,
that, and this little
We
girl.
we had Crocodile. Our friend Lyle, Crocodile.
That's good.
Remember the post-it note of my name? You put
Yes.
on the side.
So I kind of made it my mission for like a month to give him a new nickname every day.
This is
Uh,
a good closing.
So of course he was like Tuba Tim,
Tim in high school.
Timbo Slice.
Timbo Slice.
At one point-
that's good.
At one
Also
point,
high
I
school.
put a lemon down the back of his shirt because some reason that I forgot.
Because that's how we
That's
interacted.
how we were.
That's how we
And
survived.
so he was just Timmy Lemon Shirts, and then he was talking about his work as a substitute teacher, and it's like, oh, What's your last name? It's Kinsella. Mr. Gonzalez?
Yeah.
Or I thought it was Kid Snatcher.
Kid Snatcher.
Oh my God.
You were Mr. Castillo at one point.
Castillo.
So he was like, so you were,
Timodactyl.
yeah, Timodactyl. Sean used to call you Tim and Mamouthy.
Oh.
Tim and Mamouthy.
Sean.
Miss Sean.
Yeah.
So,
But anyway, yeah.
you're in my phone as this full thing, but my phone, I cannot find a way to get it to actually show your entire name. But, it's, Tuba, Timbo, Slice of Mamouthy, Lemon Shirts, no, Tuba, Timbo, Dactyl, and Mamouthy Slice, Lemon Shirts, Gonzalez Castillo, the Hash-Slinging Slasher. I feel like there was another one in there.
I feel like it was longer than that.
There's another one in there, and then it ended with owner and operator of the Timsdale Timodome.
Oh.
I forgot about that.
I see why it doesn't fit now.
Yeah. And we would do our side work. We would assign side work as a closer, which I usually was by this point.
Yeah.
We would just get Post-it notes and slap the name of whoever onto their side work for that night. So I would write Tim's out. It would take up an entire Post-it note. So eventually,
for a while.
it sure was. It got reused a lot.
Yeah.
Because I sure as shit wasn't going to use it again, and I was closing 4 days a week. So I was like,
late stay.
you were
5 days a week.
so you wouldn't move and I wouldn't move.
Yeah.
So like,
Well,
why bother? But it also got moved around a lot. Other people would be like, I think that's Tim.
That's the never-ending nickname.
The never-ending nickname. That was a
forgot
fun
about
month.
the Tuesday Ultimate Dome. Then I'm gonna put that on my business card.
Yeah.
But I remember I was at an Orioles game one time, and I was just like, oh, my brother saw, like, you had texted me something, and you're like a third of your name popped up on my phone, and they were like, oh my god. And I was like, well, I was just brainstorming with them for the rest of the game. And eventually our dynamic duo nickname became Sis Tim of a Downs.
Yeah, it's Tim of a Downs. That's good. 2 for 1.
And then I called you Timberland boots, Tim Milk, and then the generalized nickname for his bundle of nicknames is the Timulus package.
The Timulus package, I like that.
Yes.
That's good.
I think that's going to be the title of this episode.
The Timulus
Just my entire nickname.
Oh, that whole thing?
Yeah.
Tuba Timbo Dactyl Slice of Mamouthy Lemon Shirt Gonzalez Castillo, the Hash-Slinging Slasher, owner and operator of the Timsdale Timodome.
Say that 3 times fast.
I used to be able to. Because I think there was one day where that was the only thing I would refer to you as.
Yeah.
Like, I would, like, call across the kitchen, like, I would need you to run food. And I'd be like, Tuba Timbo. And you would stop and wait for me to finish, and then you would come and help.
It could have been the other one. And your nickname was Longham.
It was Longham because
I'm trying to, because then I said Rogers and Longhammerstein.
Because we had Longhammer IPA on tap.
Lots
I remember that, and that would show up on there. And I think I had told you the story about Joey Longstroke. That was such. We had a party of. It was held by people who did a triple X rated radio show, like Sex Talk.
Yes,
Full Climax was their name with 3 X's.
All right, sounds about.
And so they were joking around with the staff who was helping set up, and we had Joe said, well, my nickname will be Longstroke, and he never lived it down. Our manager Sean said, you can call me IR, and we were like, what the hell are you talking about? Interior redecorator. Like,
oh my
Sean is a little bit too clever for his own good.
I miss Sean. Sean was always
And then
he was a cool manager. Like, not like a cool manager who thought he was cool. He knew.
He was genuinely like, he was a good dude. He was a great guy to work for. And he was always fun, and he was always good to have him on. And then the SqwadCast enemy number 1 was Naughty School Teacher. So those were those nicknames, and I just remember I ran a ton of food and drinks to that party, and they got rowdy, and they were playing some weird table games. They had a game, you know, the suction cup dildos that you can get. So they were having a game where they were trying to see like how far away you could stand and stick one to the wall of the restaurant.
Lovely.
But they rented out the entire patio, and it was enclosed, so we didn't care.
That's good.
Well, on that note, it's been Antonio and Ryan and Tubatimidactyl.
I'm not even gonna bother correcting.
Yeah.
All right.
Tubatimidactyl in my mouth. D. Castillo Gonzalez, owner of the Timsdale Timadome. I missed a few.
You missed a lot.
Yeah.
Sis Tim of a Downs featuring Anchovio out.
We out.
Okay. Squad out.
Oh, you know what would have been a fucking great nickname?
What?
Salamanda.
How did we just think of that 2 years later?
3.
2.
But almost. Like from the beginning. I'm going back to like the beginning of the...
Yeah.
God, what even was that chat app called? GroupMe, okay. Yeah.
That was a really good
That was the only time I had ever used GroupMe. Was for those 2 chats.
And then the one chat where we were just the cast of New Girl. We were all characters from New Girl.
Oh, I love New Girl.
Such a good show.
You were outside Dave.
I sure was outside Dave.
I was Winston.
Yeah, you were totally Winston.
Lead the fish.
Yeah. Blake
Kelvin.
Kelvin was coach.
Yeah.
Peter was Ferguson.
Like, I'm such a Smith.
Yeah, you were Winston because Peter was Ferguson, and Lyle was Nick.
Yeah.
Lyle, because just Nick and Lyle are so fucking similar.
Yeah.
So fucking similar.